Phoenix Rising is taking a break. Apparently, Max Simpson is taking a break. We're not taking a break. Let's talk. Well, where is he?
On vacation. Of course.
Apparently so. Welcome into the PHNX Rising podcast. It is Wednesday, the 23rd of July. The season is coming along. The Jägermeister Cup might be over for Rising. We'll have more on that later. We're hitting that mid-season point where it's just kind of like, are there more games? Are we...
Yeah.
How much longer is that left to go?
I think we're all thankful for the bye week this week because it is just one of those things. When it gets to this point of the summer, it's just like, are we there yet? Is it playoff time? Can I get a rest? Now we have it, so gotta enjoy it.
Oh dear. Shout out to everyone in the chat. Thomas immediately kicking in with some comments on a certain Rising goalkeeper. Okay, we hear you. James Wilson, Mr. Vacations, always vacationing.
That's why I got the nickname.
Correct. Why do you think we all call him Mr. Vacations? Mr. Vacations is not here. But we are. Rising players aren't here either. They're currently on a mental health break, by the way, because they've got a nice long gap between now and the Orange County game next week. They've been given 4 days off this week, so they're only reporting back on Friday. Very nice.
Yeah, and get out of the heat.
I'd
take that any day.
Oh yeah.
I'd follow Max Simpson on vacation to get out of the heat.
Here we are. By the way, chat, let us know, where do you think Max has gone on vacation this time? Let's have a listen. We'll just throw them in there. We'll read out some of our favorites through the course of the show, I'm sure. As to where Max may be or may not be on vacation. But we do have business to talk about. Phoenix Rising, they went to El Paso this last weekend, played to a 2-2 draw before ultimately coming ahead on the shootout. Rees, go on. I'm going to let you take the lead on this. What do you think?
I don't even really know what to think because it is a match that could ultimately end up being meaningless, depending on how results go this weekend. But it really also followed the recent trend for Rising where there's just too long of time without scoring or without creating chances. I mean, they had that well-worked movement in that 6-minute goal for Isan Sako where they made a good run on the right side. Gerald Margarita did a good job playing the ball across for Sako. And then from then on, there were very few chances. I think it was from, the 19th minute until about the 60th odd. Around there, they went a very long time without even taking a shot. And that just cannot happen again and again with this team. I know Rising ended up equalizing late on, but again, they just cannot afford to keep doing this because eventually it will come back to bite them.
Yeah, I mean, it did early in the season. That's part of the thing here, right? Rising had its struggles early in the season. The results weren't going their way. I will say this: they were. Yes, you're right. It's a game that may end up being meaningless anyway, right? We all kind of knew that. And yet you still kind of think, okay, well, maybe with a bit of time left afterwards, to recuperate anyway, maybe you take it a little bit more seriously, you go out, you get the result and hope it's a good one for confidence. Keep that good run from Oakland going in a way that they kind of haven't done by, needing the shootout, even if you get your little wave off to the fans behind the goal afterwards as Ryan Flood, and I believe DJ also joined in on that one. After the final whistle, after the game was over. But it's I don't know. It's one of those ones where they rested players that I think were not 100%. Some of those guys, it's not that they were unable to be used if it was a critical game, but it wasn't necessarily viewed as such. They went with the the youngsters at times. You see that in the midfield, right? Pierce Rizzo. You see that with James Ping getting the armband, which I think is actually a big one. We should probably talk about like in a second. Jameson Ping wearing the armband, but I mean, I see Pat's comment there in the chat about the injuries this year. Let's just be done with the Jaeger Cup, and I understand that. I do also think this team's been very, very cautious with injuries in the early parts of the season. It actually surprised me to see them play Pa-Mdoou Kah, to be honest, for the length of time they did, especially given the playing surface, which is something that Pat Moses also brought up in the chat there. Yeah. But I still feel as though they've been quite cautious. Look, this is a team that's dropped points at times this year to teams they shouldn't have, and gotten points against teams they shouldn't have.
Yeah.
In a Western Conference that's very, very tight and very, very, very much, the margins right now in the Western Conference aren't necessarily who is better than who. It's who got an unlucky break from a referee or not. That's the kind of margins we're talking about. That's how tight it is. I believe when I looked earlier this week, there was something like 3 points separating, hosting a game or being seventh. It's very, very, very little in it. In fact, it's San Antonio currently on 27 points in second. They drop down to fourth then on 24 points. And then you're down to the bottom of the playoffs on 20. Yeah. There's almost nothing in that, given that we're over halfway through the season. So I don't know. We'll see where it goes. But let's talk, I think, about some of the youngsters and a big bit of talk, obviously, on Jameson Ping.
I mean, just seeing him wear the captain's armband, I don't think anyone ever expected to see that at any point this season. But it also, it really just shows the steps that Pa-Mdoou Kah has taken with this team's youth academy. 3 players from the academy starting in that game. None of them really looked out of place at any moment. It was good performances from all of them. Maybe moments you could pick out, but of course you're going to be able to do that when these kids are so young. And it also is, it's a sign to the kids below Jameson Ping in the academy, the younger ones, that, hey, look at him. He came through the same door, he walked on these same steps, and now he's captained the side for a competitive fixture. That it's just something that it's going to have a trickle down effect for the rest of the kids in this squad. And it's something that you absolutely love to see after how it has looked over recent years, where it hasn't been this way.
Yeah, let's also talk about someone making his debut, the second youngest player, I believe, ever to play for Phoenix Rising FC. It's Tony Capetillo off the bench. This is a 15-year-old making his professional debut. Not only making his professional debut as he comes on for the last 3 minutes of the game, but stepping up in the penalty shootout, 6th round taker, with El Paso already having made their penalty, steps up knowing he has to make his penalty to keep the game going. If he misses, they lose. And he makes his penalty. 15-year-old. In his first professional game. I asked him after the game, grabbed him as he was going off the field and just said, do you intend, did you put yourself forward for that one? Yeah, he wanted to take a penalty. He wanted to take a penalty.
That's
6th in the
conference.
That's not like getting to like 9th or 10th and you're like, oh, they've got to send him up there. He took the 6th penalty for Rising.
I talked to my little brother after that and just told him how disappointed I am in him, because
I didn't see you playing professional football.
Well, I'm disappointed in myself too, but I'm still disappointed in my brother too. These kids are younger than him and out there playing professionally.
Does he feel old yet?
He said he did.
He feels old now.
Yeah.
Reese, does it make you feel old?
Oh, absolutely.
You're very much the baby of the pod.
Tony Capetillo's 4 years younger than me and converted a penalty, so yeah.
I was not scoring penalties, Devin. I can confirm that. I can also confirm that Reese was probably not.
No, I was not
scoring penalties either.
No.
I'm sure Max would tell us he was scoring penalties.
Yeah,
but
Max
that's a very
won the
Max
Golden
kind of
Boot.
Thing, yeah. Oh, is Mr. Golden Boot winner Max Simpson? Oh, it's not quite the same when he's not here, is it?
No, it's not.
I know. How are we meant to pick on him too much? It comes off a bit mean.
It feels very mean, but it's not. It's Max.
It's not undeserved.
Exactly.
But oh well. Any other takeaways here? I saw people complaining about Triston Henry. Come on.
Yeah, we do need to talk about that. We left it a little later than I thought we would, to be honest. It was... I can see the first goal, it was a little rough. The second one also, too. He also had some big moments towards the end that kept rising in the game. He saved a couple penalties. But again, I just don't get why in a game that, if you're taking the competition seriously, it is a must-win really in 90 minutes. Winning on penalties didn't really do Rising any favors at all. Yes, they can still qualify, but it is a grocery list of items that need to happen. I just think, Patrick Rakowski hasn't been an elite goalkeeper by any stretch of the imagination this season. But he's a solid option in that he is better than Triston Henry. I know you want to give Henry games, but you really cannot in this scenario. I get doing it in Texoma because that one kind of doesn't matter, and you could, as they did, just put more goals past the League One side. But in this one, I feel like you got to go as close to full strength, especially in net, for that game.
Yeah. I mean, a pat in there with the who flat was Vitiello and Quaisho in the semi-final, or Henry on Saturday. Look, that first goal, I don't know if Patrick Rakowski saved it. It is a bit of a rocket of a shot, but I don't think it's that far away from him necessarily. I just looked at it and it felt like one of the most almost unnatural looking save attempts I think I've seen from a goalkeeper at this club for quite some time.
Honestly, the only one that was close that I can think of off the top of my head is his from the red-black friendly where Mo Traore took that
just
long
hit
range
it straight
shot.
at him and he dived away from the ball. Yeah. So Lamin Jaune scoring, you should void your contract. I mean, we had a lot of words about Lamin Jaune scoring against this team when that one happened. I mean, even I cut him a lot more slack on the second goal. And he's good on penalties, but Devon, I still feel as though part of that is also players make them savable.
Yeah.
Patrick Rakowski saved a good number of them, and some of it's scouting. A lot of things go into it, but I do think that often there's an element of I wonder if people over-egg sometimes goalkeepers on penalties, where a lot of it comes down to just diving the right way and the player making it savable.
I can agree. I mean, I definitely feel like
if you're a goalkeeper, you just pick a direction for the most part and you dive. And if that's where the guy, and if you're picking it because it's based on what your coach has told you, this is the way the guy goes.
I also feel like over recent years, penalty takers have gotten much, much worse at taking penalties. Like, I just feel like too many players get up there and just put it slow into the bottom corner, which is opening the door for a goalkeeper to save it 9 times out of 10 if they're going the right way.
I'm intrigued. There's got to be data on this.
There probably is. Maybe
Rees, you got a homework assignment for next week.
I'll look it up.
You got to give me the full detailed breakdown.
I just think if you're stepping up for a penalty, you got to smack it into the top corner as hard as you can. Easy, job done.
He says this like Rees would walk up and just utterly whiff the ball.
Oh,
probably.
absolutely.
I mean, to be fair, so would I.
I'd Harry Kane it probably.
What, you think you're getting that much power behind it?
Well, it wouldn't be anywhere close to being on target, so that's more the point.
Oh dear! Right, one last thing I think to bring up on El Paso before we look at moving on. But let's talk about it. You know what it's going to be because it was one of the first things referenced in the chat, and I think it's pretty relevant. Come on.
What was it?
It's the pitch.
Oh yeah, the pitch. Yeah, that was disgraceful.
Pa-Mdoou Kah, I think, wound a few El Paso fans up with his comments on that one, but I have to say I don't think he was wrong. It was described as probably the worst it's been all season in that stadium. But Pa said he thinks that the grounds crew, they did a, quote, terrible job. He also said that, quote, it's a horrendous pitch to play on.
It's a baseball field. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, but this scale.
Oh, I know.
That gave me flashbacks to Memphis. I've got to be honest. The Memphis was terrible. And obviously, right, I understand the limitations. You've got players on Rising, players not on Rising, guys who play in this league who are all in agreement over this one for the most part, that pitch just isn't good enough. So you've got that. You've got, again, even clearly, not just Pa, but other coaches around the league aren't really a fan of dealing with this. There's got to come a time whereby, realistically, if you're expecting this league to continue to grow, those fields have to go away.
I mean, exactly. That's exactly what I was going to mention is El Paso's probably not going to be there when in a Division 1 if USL ever gets Division 1
sanctioning. But if you have a promotion relegation
exactly.
setup, then
this is just, it's such a stain on the league. I know they've started to really phase out, but it's terrible camera angles, first off. So the broadcast experience, no matter how good the pitch is terrible because they've got to, if a player goes into the one corner, you got to switch the camera. And then you're on this terrible angle.
The worst
exactly. And it's just, this league is getting to a point where it's becoming too big for these types of stadiums, and you got to work something out to, I don't care if there's a running track around the field. It'd be better than a baseball stadium.
Well, the thing is that it just impacts the quality of the play as well.
Yeah.
That's the biggest thing. It's an injury risk. It impacts the quality of the play. I mean, we saw how many times in Memphis the pitches just kind of crumble.
Yeah.
Okay, it just kind of fell apart. This pitch looked like it was falling apart, to be honest. It's just the way it looked from the start. It wasn't level. They had to get a roller out because multiple rising coaches and players were standing around where the baseball mound usually is and just looking and going, this ain't level. And we're on the phone and making calls about it and trying to get it dealt with. It's bad. It's really, really, really bad. And this league should at this point be past that. I remember us very much back in 2020, 2021, 2022, all the chatter being about moving these teams out of baseball stadiums. And we're still in a position whereby it may not be as widespread quite as much as it was there, or you've got teams that are obviously making steps. New Mexico in the process of building their own stadium, so that'll move them out of there, right? Those kind of things, critical, important steps for the league in terms of moving those teams out. I mean, Cashman Field is pretty poor right now, but that's their stadium. Yeah. But it's very poor playing surface.
I don't get how that one's bad. There hasn't been baseball there for like 8 years.
Yeah, it's just bad. It's just bad, apparently. But not great all around. Any final thoughts on that?
I don't want to say it ended because that's what I usually do, but the whole game could end up meaning nothing. Like by the time 2:00 or 3:00 comes on Saturday, so I'll save my energy for the league games.
That's fair enough. That'd be a bit early though, 2 or 3 on.
Yeah.
We will be going through after the break. We will be going through all of the Jägermeister Cup games that are coming up this weekend. We're going to try. I emphasize try.
Yeah.
And make it make sense, but it's going to be quite difficult other side of the break. But first, it's getting pretty hot out there, isn't it, Rees?
Way too hot.
Way too hot. Would you say miserably hot?
I'd absolutely say miserably hot.
So obviously you're spending a lot of time indoors. You got the AC going, yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, it can be a pretty expensive time of year. Summer, obviously, with the need to cool down here in the desert. You've got to be smart about your energy use, and a lot of energy costs do come from cooling and heating. A smart thermostat can help you to manage those energy costs. Obviously, for every 1 degree you raise your thermostat, you could save 2 to 3% on your cooling costs, but you have to remember, of course, to adjust your thermostat in these busy summer days. Sometimes you've got to go out to work, you're out doing things. That can be hard to remember. If you've got a smart thermostat, that makes it easy. If you're away from home, you forget to adjust your thermostat, you can do it from your smartphone or device from anywhere. APS customers, you can find instant rebates, discounts, and special offers on smart thermostats, energy efficient appliances, and more at marketplace.aps.com. Right now, APS customers may be eligible for smart thermostats for as low as $0 when you enroll in the APS Cool Rewards program. If you already have the smart thermostat at home, see if it's eligible to enroll in Cool Rewards. Plus, free install is available at marketplace.aps.com. Remember, you must be an APS customer, and pay shipping and taxes. Other restrictions may apply. Head to marketplace.aps.com for more information. And of course, when things do finally start to cool down, they're going to be heating up on the track. Max, we heard last week about Max's speeding tickets, and obviously he thinks he's a bit of a driver there, but he's not up to the level of the NASCAR guys that are coming in for NASCAR Championship weekend at Phoenix Raceway. It's coming back to the Valley October 31st through November 2nd. Rees, you into racing?
Only if I'm driving. but I will
See,
be.
that doesn't convince me to ever get in a car with Rees. Ever get in a car with Rees, to be honest. I mean, Max apparently has the same opinions on these things. But if you want to get your chance to witness the NASCAR Championship weekend in person here at Phoenix Raceway, October 31st through November 2nd, tickets for Sundays for the Cup Series Championship race sell out every year, so move fast to get yours now before they're gone. And it's going to be on the road starting in 26. This is your last chance to catch it in Phoenix for a while. Tickets, hospitality, and upgrades are still available. Get yours now at phoenixraceway.com. Right, Rees, we need to talk about the Jägermeister Cup.
Okay, let's talk about these scenarios.
Oh, there's a lot. There is a lot. Are you ready?
No, but I do think we should provide a disclaimer to the people that after hearing this, you likely will have a headache, because we had a headache calculating.
We did. We sat there arguing over some of these to work out. It was done ugly. The definitive Phoenix Rising getting into the Jägermeister Cup knockout round explanation, because it's all going down on Saturday. And by all going down, I mean we have covered 14 games that could have implications on whether Phoenix Rising makes it to the knockout round of the Jägermeister Cup. Right, let's start with some ground rules on these. So Rising ended on 7 points with 10 goals scored. For Rising to qualify, we have again gone through group by group and explained how Rising would finish ahead of the team in second place in that group. Rising, every game that we list has to go Rising's way, with one exception, that's in Group 6. We will explain that when we get to Group 6. There are 2 teams that qualify as wildcard teams. So that means that one of these groups can go against Rising, as long as all of the others go in Rising's favor. However, if Rising fails to finish second in Group 2, so if the results in Group 2 don't work out, Rising will miss out, guaranteed. Okay, Rees, do you feel like you're ready?
I hope so.
I will say, if you're listening to this on audio, I'm sorry, because it's going to get complicated. We've got visual aids for those of you who are watching along with us on YouTube, who are watching back of this, later on. It may help you to go pull this up on online and go through this bit with us, because it's a lot. To Pat's point on Group 1, we will come back to Group 1. We're going to start with Group 2. So this is Phoenix Rising's group. In this case, Rising needs both results to have a chance at qualification. Has to happen. If this doesn't happen, if either of these 2 results goes against Rising, it's over at that point. There is no other part to this. So there are 2 games. This is 6 o'clock kickoff. San Antonio against New Mexico United. Now, Rising has the head-to-head tiebreaker over New Mexico, which actually, according to the USL's website, as far as we're aware, does come ahead of goals scored.
Now, will they change that?
Well, I don't know if USL knows what they're doing, so we'll see what happens with that. So that means for Rising to finish ahead of New Mexico, San Antonio already clear. New Mexico must lose a shootout or worse in that game. Then there's another 6 o'clock kickoff there. Colorado Springs against Texoma. This one's unlikely, but we've included every potential game so that you understand. As long as Colorado Springs, they either fail to win in 90 minutes or they win in 90 but score fewer than 7 goals while doing so, then Rising will finish ahead of Colorado Springs. If Colorado Springs pull out 7 goals in a win over Texoma, they overtake Rising. I don't think it's going to happen, but it could, and that's why we've included it here.
Yeah.
The biggest question is that first one, San Antonio against New Mexico. Rees, let's talk about it.
To me, it's just how seriously does San Antonio take that match, because they are likely through unless something crazy happens that I wouldn't be able to think of. It'd have to be results elsewhere, and New Mexico winning, I believe. I don't even know. But again, if San Antonio doesn't take it too seriously, it could be the difference. New Mexico just could run past them. Assuming both teams put out full strength sides, San Antonio's the home side, so I really wouldn't be shocked if San Antonio does win, either via the shootout or via regular time. But again, does San Antonio take it seriously?
That's the question, isn't it?
Yeah.
Kind of hard to tell. Should we move on?
Yeah.
This is where it gets now to the point whereby, remember, of these 5 other groups, one of these groups can fail to work for Rising, but then you need the other 4 to go Rising's way after we say Rising and finish second. So, Group 1, let's go. Now, Pat brought this up in the chat saying Group A, in this case Group 1, I believe they're numbered, not lettered, is going to have 3 teams on 9. That's very possible. However, only the top 2. You must finish second to have a chance of going through as a wild card. You can't finish in third and go through as a wild card. So even if all of these results go against Rising, it still only counts as one group that's finished ahead of them. We're going to start with a 1 o'clock. This is an unlikely one, but it is technically possible. So again, we've included it. It's a 1 o'clock kickoff. Oakland against Orange County. In this case, if Oakland fails to win in 90 minutes, or if Oakland wins in 90 minutes, scoring fewer than 5 goals, then Rising will be clear of Oakland routes. Okay?
Yep.
That's an important one. The 7 o'clock, Spokane versus Sacramento. This is where it gets a lot harder in Group 1, these last 2 games. Spokane against Sacramento Republic. If Sacramento loses in 90 minutes, or if Sacramento loses a shootout while scoring fewer than 5 goals in that 90 minutes of play, then Rising will finish ahead of Sacramento. The exact same applies in the 8 o'clock kickoff, AV Alta versus Monterey Bay. Monterey Bay either needs to lose in 90 minutes or they need to lose a shootout while scoring fewer than 5 goals in the 90 minutes. Rees, let's have a little bit of talk on Group 1. How do we feel about this?
It's one of the hardest ones to predict because hardest ones to really hope it happens, because Sacramento plays Spokane and Monterey Bay plays AV Alta. Those are 2 League One sides, lesser opponents. They're already knocked out. Neither of those 2 have anything to play for. But on the other hand, if you're looking for a glimpse of hope, it's both road trips. They have to travel to League One sides for both of those teams, which could make it a little bit difficult. It can be tricky traveling to some of these League One teams. But again, it is Sacramento and Monterey Bay who have been good at times this season, and against a lesser opponent, they should be able to handle with ease.
You'd have thought so. You'd have thought so that one of them at least is going to probably get the job done.
Yeah.
It's the fact that you need both
yeah,
to not get it. That's the issue here. Right, we'll move on to Group 3 now. Let's have a look at Group 3. So Group 3, we already know that Rising can't catch Indy, so we're operating on the assumption here that realistically Rising need Indy 11 to win that Group 3, and then for whoever finishes second to not make any ground on Rising. So we'll start that Indy 11 game. That's going to be a 4 o'clock kickoff. All of these times, by the way, Arizona times are giving you the kickoffs for Indy 11 taking on FC Tulsa. Now, there's a slight caveat here because you do need Indy to get a result against Tulsa. You can't, or get something against Tulsa. Here's what we've said. If Tulsa fails to win their game in 90 minutes,
yep,
or Tulsa wins but scores fewer than 3 goals, then Rising is clear of FC Tulsa. The key thing here is that Tulsa cannot win and score 3 goals or more. As long as that doesn't happen, Rising are okay in terms of FC Tulsa. The other game is then where it gets a little bit more kind of complicated, because Madison technically can overtake Rising. If Forward Madison goes to Birmingham Legion, and from Rising's perspective, you need a Forward Madison win in order to do this. You need a Forward Madison win, otherwise Birmingham Legion will overtake Rising. So Madison needs to win. They need to score fewer than 8 goals in doing so. Otherwise, Madison overtakes Phoenix Rising. And in the Madison win, you also need Birmingham Legion to score fewer than 4 goals.
Yeah. I feel like if there's a group that just explains the chaos of it, it is kind of that one. The Tulsa one's interesting because they're intra-conference opponents. Who knows what could happen there? If Tulsa does win, scoring 3 goals really isn't that far out of the picture. They've scored multiple goals in each of their group games so far. But you just got to hope Indy 11 take care of business there. The Birmingham Legion Madison game is... Who really knows with that one? It is such a kind of a not ridiculous scenario because it's not going to end like 9-5 or anything like that if Madison win. But predicting a League One team to beat a USL Championship side is just so difficult to envision happening. But just got to hold out hope still.
Gotta hold that hope. I will say to Pat Moses' comment here, by the way, it is included in some of the USL promotional materials on this one. The remaining 2 spots, referencing the wildcard spots, will be awarded to the 2 second place finishers with the most points earned in group play. Okay, so we've looked that up, spoken to people at teams. The agreement all of us have come to is, as far as we are aware, unless USL has conflicting information on this one, and there is publicly published information on this saying it's second place finishers. It's the bottom of the standings page on the USL website, saying that it is the 2 second place finishers. We'd asked that question before because obviously it's complicated if Group 1 could have the teams that you need on 9 points. But again, our understanding is it is only second place teams that could possibly qualify as wildcard teams. We move on to Group number 4. Now, this one, again, we've got a team here that are ahead of Phoenix Rising already in Rhode Island. So for Rising to have a chance here, Rising needs Rhode Island to win the group. And how does Rhode Island win the group? Well, they need to ultimately get something against Hartford Athletic. But that one, we'll talk about that as the 4 o'clock. That's the second one. They're Rhode Island against Hartford. There's also a 4 o'clock Detroit against Westchester. Let's start with that one. Detroit currently on 5 points. So the easiest way for Rising to finish ahead of them is just to confirm that they will, if they lose the shootout or worse, then Rising finishes ahead of Detroit. If Detroit wins a shootout, they need to score, for Rising to get through, fewer than 5 goals. Actually, fewer... I don't know. See, this is complicated now. I'm looking. They've actually conceded 6 goals, so it may be more complicated than that.
Oh, God.
Every time we go to this, it changes slightly. Because the goals against would actually be worse. So Detroit needs to not win. It's as simple as that.
Yeah.
Okay, we've just made it easier. If Detroit wins in 90 minutes, it's over in terms of Group 4. If Detroit fails to win in 90 minutes, Rising has a chance there. Unless they score 6 goals or more. Because again, it's goals 4 is the first one. So it'd be if they need to score 6. Then the other game, if we look at the other game again, it was Rhode Island against Hartford. The key thing here, because Hartford are already on 7 points, you need Hartford to lose in 90 minutes. You also need Hartford to score fewer than 3 goals, because if that happens, they will overtake Rising on tiebreakers. They're already on 7 points, so that's where that one currently stands. Group 4, okay?
Yeah. Detroit Westchester. I'm not gonna write that one off now, but I am pretty much going to. Westchester's really bad. They haven't won a game in the Cup so far. Lost all 3. They've only won 3 league games. They're just 1 point above the bottom of the table in USL League One. They are quite bad. So picking them to get anything from their game against Detroit City would be something of a miracle.
Detroit, we know more Trevor James. He has gone.
He has. But But on the other hand, Hartford, Rhode Island, they just played a boring 0-0 draw on national TV. I could see Rhode Island winning that 1-0, boring as ever, but I could see that one. So
Fair enough.
they're two very different, and I think possibilities in that group.
Indeed. All right, we'll move on to Group 5. Let's have a look at these now. 2 games that are relevant in Group 5. Remember in this case that Loudoun is on 8 points and therefore cannot be catched by Phoenix Rising. So again, when we look at this group, what we're saying is we need Loudoun to win the group in order for Rising to have a chance of finishing better than the second place finisher in Group 5. And therefore you need some combination out of Louisville, Charlotte, or Lexington that's going to work out. We'll start with the 4 o'clock Charlotte versus Richmond. In this case, Richmond kickers are out. They've got 0 points so far in the Jägermeister Cup. So if Charlotte loses in 90 minutes, or if they lose a shootout while scoring fewer than 5 goals, then Phoenix Rising will finish ahead of them in terms of the wildcard standings. What do we think, Rees? Realistic? Not? I mean, it's League One. It's 2 League One sides.
It is 2 League One sides, but Richmond hasn't been that great this year. Their League One Cup, or their Jägermeister Cup, rather, form has been bad. But Charlotte has kind of teetered off in League One. They've dropped 4 points in 4 of their last games. So that one could be a draw that goes to a shootout. So, but then you got to hope for a shootout loss. So.
Okay. And then for that final one, the 4 o'clock there, Lexington against Louisville in Group 5. You need Louisville to struggle here. In the case whereby Louisville loses a shootout, which is one possible outcome here, they need to score fewer than 4 goals, and then Rising's okay. Or the alternative scenario is that Lexington could win it in 90 minutes while scoring fewer than 5 goals, and Rising will be okay. But to our knowledge, any other outcome, a Louisville win on a shootout, a Louisville win in 90, of course, puts them on 8 or 9 points respectively. If the goals tallies go up, you run into a problem. If Lexington will get the 3 points, they'll be level on points with Rising. So again, you need to just make sure they score fewer than 5 goals in doing so. Otherwise, they would overtake Rising. That one... See, here's the thing. I expect Louisville to go and win it. But if you ask me, say, for example, could Lexington sneak something? I wouldn't be shocked.
I'd agree with that.
It's not impossible, the way they're playing.
It is a rivalry game. I've seen a lot of stuff on Twitter. It is expected to be a fairly heated game. Because of that, it is so difficult to predict. I mean, we've seen that here with Phoenix. When they play their rivals, it is a chaotic match. No one really knows what's going to happen until the final whistle is blown. And because of that, I'm not going to predict either way. But it's also not that unrealistic that Lexington does win it. So
yeah, absolutely. Now we move on to Group 6 and final. And this one is complicated. And the reason this one's complicated is because the current team in first place is Tampa Bay Rowdies. They're on 7 points. That means they are not currently ahead of Rising, which means that there is a scenario whereby Rising could not have one of these results go their way, but if the other 2 go their way, that's okay, because somebody does have to win the group ultimately. It may get complicated if multiple teams finish on 7. It's hard for us. We haven't broken down the full analysis on Group 6 because it is going to be quite a complicated one. But the general rule of thumb is 2 or 3 results go Rising's way and you're okay. 4 o'clock, Greenville are playing Naples. For this to work, you either need Greenville to lose in 90 minutes or lose a shootout scoring fewer than 6 goals in the game.
Yeah.
I mean, you see a draw there maybe or no?
It's 2 middle-of-the-pack League One sides. I mean...
And you could be at a coin toss because I don't see the 6 goals.
Exactly.
Losing a shootout is possible. We move on. It's 4 o'clock as well. Miami against South Georgia Tormenta. There are 3 possible ways that this could work here. Miami could win a shootout, scoring fewer than 4 goals. Yep.
South
Georgia Tormenta could win win in 90, South Georgia Tormenta wins in 90 with fewer than 4 goals scored. Or South Georgia Tormenta wins a shootout and we all say thank you very much. Both of you don't make it to...
Yeah.
Both of you finish on 6 and we can all have a nice day. And you're both out at that point. The final and most easy one here, Charleston Battery taking on Tampa Bay Rowdies. The Battery are out, so I don't know how seriously they'll take this one as they take on a fellow USL Championship side. I don't know. We'll see what Ben Pierman does. Tampa Bay, if they lose in 90 and score fewer than 3 goals in doing so, then they will finish behind Rising. But right now, Tampa Bay Rowdies in the driver's seat in Group 6. If they win the group. It's that simple for them. So they're going to be going in there motivated. If they pick up any points at all whatsoever, they will finish ahead of Rising. Reese, does your head hurt yet?
It's been hurting since I came in here and we started talking about this.
Absolutely. Back home, does everyone's head hurt now from listening to that? It probably does.
Yeah.
It probably does. Right, well, when we come back, I think the other side of the break, we'll have a little bit of other football talk, I think, to kind of cover at that point, won't we?
Yeah.
Yeah, there's always more football to talk about. All right. But first, have we got any hats around here? Or is it all the U of A ones?
I think they're all the U of A ones, unfortunately.
That's disappointing because Branded Bills, they do have some good stuff. I got an ASU Branded Bills hat at home. I wouldn't touch the U of A stuff. I know Kevin right now is looking at me and giving me some kind of... I don't know, but we're not. All I know is every time we bring up U of A, as it relates to this particular partner here with Branded Bills, it's a bit of a disappointment. But if you are a U of A fan, they have some good stuff. They got ASU as well as many other branded, licensed hats as well. Maybe you need snapbacks, truckers, fitted, beanies, orties, Branded Bills. They've always got you covered with performance and style. They're based here in the Valley. They've also got some partnerships. They've had the Phoenix Suns. They had a D-backs partnership, I think, earlier this year at one point. And you can save money now if you go make your order. Branded Bills BBPHNX for 15% off your first order. That's promo code BBPHNX at brandedbills.com. Now, also, we've got to talk a little bit about chicken and pickle. Yeah, Max is always here because he loves talking about pickleball and how
he's not very good.
I don't know. I've heard people say that he's quite good.
Different reports. Yeah,
I've had very mixed reports. Has anyone here got any insight on Max Simpson's pickleball skills? I'm getting a thumbs down over there. So to me, that's Max Simpson's not very good. You have to find out for yourselves. Go up to Chicken and Pickle. I believe we've got a event up there on the 26th. See if Max is any good up there. And while you're there, of course, all kinds of delicious food as well as the pickleball. They also do special Sunday brunch buffets. They got yard games, full bar. Hey, if it's... Again, Max always says it, doesn't he? If it's the chicken goes first in the name of pickleball place, it's probably pretty good.
Yeah.
I don't know whether I believe Max or not, but hey, we're gonna take it. We're gonna take it regardless. Family friendly funaways. Visit chickenandpickle.com to plan your visit today. Right. So, Reese, anything going on in the world of football right now? Anything going on in the world of USL? Let's start there.
Trevor James out.
Trevor James.
Yeah, we alluded
How do we
to
feel?
that. I mean, he wasn't on the touchline anymore, so you really probably won't notice too much of a difference. But I mean, what was he technically? A technical director? Is that the position they gave him?
Sporting director.
Sporting director, yeah.
Yeah, he was there for 6 years. Joined as the club's head coach in 2019. Previously an assistant at clubs in MLS. As a scout elsewhere as well. So you don't really have that many thoughts on it?
No, I mean, I saw some very angry Detroit City fans in the USL Reddit asking why it wasn't Danny Dicchio, but it's just fascinating to me to see Detroit City now. Because, I mean, when they first came in the league, they were fine being mediocre, but they weren't mediocre. It was mediocre in terms of any other club, but they were just getting results. Now they're kind of doing the same thing, but it's ugly, so... And Detroit City, who doesn't love to laugh at them?
Who doesn't love to laugh at Detroit? You're right. I mean, we all love to laugh at Detroit.
Yeah.
Absolutely. But any other news? Anything else in the USL we're thinking right now?
Kyle Scott back to England from Orange County. I think that might have been last week, but I saw that. I'm glad his illegal sleeves will now be out of this league. He always wore the orange sleeves with the white shirt, and that always drove me mad every time I saw it. So I'm glad that's gone.
Well, does the shirt technically end in orange?
I think so, but it's the cuff. It's like an ever so slight stripe on the cuff.
Don't make me pull up the laws of the game and just clarify.
Yeah, but I
this
feel
right
like
now.
you never see any other team in the world do that. Like if the cuff, like
You're correct.
know
It
this is
must
very
be the same color as the main color of the
Yeah.
shirt sleeve. Correct.
it's just terrible. It was a
It's
disgrace to our
undershorts and
beautiful
or
league.
tights that must be the same color as the main color of the shorts or the lowest part of the shorts. But the sleeves must be the same color as the main color of the shirt sleeve. That's from Law 4, by the way, for anyone interested. Law 4, the player's equipment.
It was absolutely disgraceful that the league allowed it for so long. Disgraceful.
This has to be, I think, the most bizarre gripe that you could possibly
Look.
have had.
I'll show you the picture. It just drove because it didn't even match. The orange shade didn't match. The
Oh,
kit.
you're right.
It was terrible. And he got away with it. They let him get away with it.
Oh, you're right, Rees. That's actually true. That's Rees right here. This man is like ready to say, I want points deductions.
Absolutely.
I want points deductions. I want fines. You cannot win that. No, Rees, that's. Oh,
I'm going to
dear.
side with Reese on this one. Devin Booker, you know how the Suns have their black uniforms?
Mhm.
He started wearing a white leg sleeve.
Oh, that's
And
terrible.
it drove me insane.
That's awful.
It drove me insane. So I get where you're coming from, Reese.
Yeah. That's just you gotta
Oh
match.
my
You gotta
God.
match.
I mean, technically, this does have to match. You are correct. This would violate Law 4. I'm surprised that you get away with that. It's got a big rec league vibes to it. That doesn't it?
Absolutely. And his
It does.
headband too. His headband was
Oh,
like
dear.
4 times the size of his forehead. He battled me so much. I'm glad he's gone.
Hey, it's okay. At least you weren't here for last week when Max was winding up Damon a treat about the Club World Cup.
The friendly competition.
Well, hey, if Damon's not here to hear it, then you can call it whatever you want, mate.
Arsenal just won a friendly competition yesterday,
Did you?
or I guess technically this morning. Some winter festival of football in Singapore. So, arguably on the same level as the Club World Cup.
What's the name of this tournament?
I can't remember.
I mean, it's such a prestigious trophy that Reese doesn't even remember the name of it right now. There we go.
It is nope. It just says
Club friendlies.
yeah.
It's just as a preseason friendly.
But they gave us a trophy.
That sounds like something Max would celebrate. To be fair.
Absolutely, he definitely parade that for like 3 weeks, and then again the next year when they don't win their friendly trophy that year.
Oh dear. You know what? Any darts updates, Reese?
World Match Play.
There we go. See, now we're setting the guy off.
How about that today? Did you get to see any of it?
I didn't watch any of it today,
Oh
Reese. Come on.
my goodness me! What a day
Listen
it was.
to the enthusiasm in this man's
What
voice.
a day it was.
He was
Winter
we're
Gardens.
just kind of at that point now where it's, what are we talking about?
I can't
Like,
remember.
we've broken ourselves talking about the Jägermeister Cup this much, that and all those weird complex scenarios.
Price beat Dobie to start the day.
11-3, not even close.
Yeah, it was
Don't
Andrew
forget,
Gilding.
Andrew Gilding against Dirk van Dijvenbode.
That was dominant. Gilding, I think he came out, won the first 5 before the break.
He's got to be, is he? Here's the
The
question.
Goldfinger.
Yeah, but who is the most gormless looking player in darts?
I don't know if Gilding kind of fits that
Yeah.
mold. I think it's more Rob Crow. I just think Gilding he kind of knows that darts isn't it's a pub man's game, which
I think
is
it's
still
because
sport.
he's bald than now.
Absolutely. It is definitely the baldness.
It is a sport, to be clear. Darts is a sport.
Absolutely. And then Luke Littler 13-11
13-11 over Jermaine Watermana.
What a game. He was down 7-2, won the leg right before the second break, so it was 7-3, came back, and then won 5 more legs on the trot, 8-7. One of the best games of the tournament so far. Until the very next one, Michael Van Gerwen should have beat Josh Rock, and then somehow, some way, Josh Rock came back and won it. So it's been a fun tournament so far. World Match Play never disappoints.
Any thoughts earlier, of course, in the competition about Gerwin Price and Daryl Gurney? at the end
That
of
was
game?
funny to watch. I do quite like Daryl Gurney because he gets in the head of
It's a
guys like
sport.
Gerwin Price. And apparently it continued off stage afterwards.
Even better.
Into like their locker room, which or whatever they'd call it. And it's just incredible. That's what the darts is all about.
You never tell me it's just a game again when you see that kind of stuff. We love it. It's absolutely a sport. Right, well, we're coming towards the conclusion of this one, but when we come back, we will, I don't know, maybe I'll get Rees to do some more darts talk. I know you guys all love it. But first, you know, my head is still spinning a bit from those Jägermeister Cup things. I feel like I might need to go get a drink, watch some of the action, maybe put some bets on as well down at Gila River Resorts and Casinos. Of course, they've got plenty of different food bars down there as well. You can watch all the games on the big screens. It is the ultimate sports viewing experience down at our friends at Gila River Resorts and Casinos. And of course, you know, when things start going, there's going to be, I'm sure we'll have watch parties there. I will make sure Max is getting on that, of course, because yeah, we got to make sure that Mr. Vacations is actually working as well, don't we?
Which is hard to do.
It's hard to do, but we'll make sure that we get you down there because, of course, you do you at Gila River Resorts and Casinos. Make sure to go online to playathila.com for more details. And of course, now it's middle of summer, right? It's getting hot, but it's getting quite bright as well. If there's one thing I know, you got to switch into some sunglasses every so often, don't you?
Yeah.
What sunglasses you switching into?
Shady Rays.
Shady Rays. Now, Max always, you know, I mean, he's probably got some sitting on his desk right now. You can go and grab them.
That's quite far away.
That's quite a walk. That's quite a walk, to be fair. But listen, I remember Max up in Vegas back in 2023 when his Shady Rays actually took a bit of a battering. But he did manage to get him replaced thanks to the guarantee. That was because Juan Guerra got him in like such a tight hug that it was just a little bit too much for them. But he got himself some new ones in, and they look good. They wear good. They obviously keep the sun out. It's always good, and we can get you a good offer on them as well. We teamed up with Shady Rays to bring you an exclusive offer. It's shadyrays.com and use code PHNX for 35% off polarized sunglasses. Try for yourself the sunglasses. Rated 5 stars by over 300,000 people. I'll get there eventually. 300,000. Right. Coming towards the end of this one. It's mental health break for Rising at the moment.
I saw Emmers is up in Vegas.
Emmers is up in Vegas, living it up.
That could be bad for the mental health if the games go poorly there.
Could have just stuck here at Gila River Resorts and Casinos. Hey, you might have to see that Cashman Field pitch as well if you go up to Vegas. So I don't know about that one, but it is, of course, yeah. I've wrote a piece on that one. That's up on the website at the moment. If you want to hear some thoughts from Vikram Virk on it, from Colin Smith, and some thoughts from Pa-Mdoou Kah as well. On the mental health break, you can go over to gophnx.com to give that a read. And that's actually a really good time to bring up at the moment. We do have a sale on at the moment. It's because, of course, the Arizona Cardinals are getting ready for the training camp. So the Die Hard training camp sale is here. It's our best Die Hard deal of the year. You can join today for just $36 for the entire year. That's $3 a month for full access to Cardinals and all of our other coverage as well. You get a free t-shirt with that, access to our exclusive Discord where Rees talks about how he is a big fan of certain players on Rising's team, I'm sure, and so do a lot of other fans as well.
Yeah.
Like to have talks about games and other things in there. And of course, you get merch event discounts and even more. So go ahead, make your move online. Go to gophnx.com/intro-offer-social. What I got here. Okay, so can we talk about Cardiff signings? No.
Is there any?
We're maybe looking for a new ownership group right now.
Oh, God.
I don't know.
God.
So no. We're cutting the squad down at the moment, by the way. To be clear, some of the stuff that people are saying in here, though, about the darts, I don't believe it. Do you believe it?
It's disrespectful. There's no way you actually think
to the
that.
game. There's no way you think any of this stuff. Don't lie to us. Don't lie to us. I mean, Devon's in there talking about how I'm not going to talk about a game that's coming up now because we don't want to talk about that. We love women's sport. We don't love a certain country that's playing in.
Oh, you mean England?
No, we don't like the penalty merchants. That's dodgy. I'm sorry, that penalty was.
It definitely was, but it's karma for Italy.
That's never getting called in a game in that
like
position.
that,
otherwise,
you kind of deserve it.
And also, she's definitely pulling as well.
Oh, absolutely.
Which is why it's never being given.
It's a ridiculous penalty. But I also think if you come out and play like that, you don't deserve to win. If you're Italy. Or I guess they didn't come out. They scored and then played like that. And that's karma. So,
fluky.
Karma.
Fluky. I tell you what, when Spain win this weekend, it's going to be a great time.
Yeah, I mean, it'd be
also, can we shout out actually going back to El Paso? I did predict a 2-2 draw, and then I said that Rising would win the shootout if it was at the end away from the El Paso supporters. And what do you know? It turns out I got it dead on.
That's just I don't even know, because I remember Duke Keith, legend of the game, said that the penalty shootout was going to be in front of the El Paso supporters, and I thought, oh, that's that then. But Duke Keith, unfortunately, was wrong, which is heartbreaking because we love Duke Keith on this podcast, don't we?
Was he doing it alone?
He was.
I was there, so I
he
didn't
was
hear
doing it alone.
Indeed,
felt bad for him.
Indeed. Spain will save football again. Yes. Some things are written as foretold. Spain will save football again.
I just hope I don't have to watch any more penalties because they've been quite bad.
They've been awful.
They've been really bad.
Even the penalty that they ultimately scored from the rebound from was a terrible penalty.
I mean, that's what I said when I said earlier.
Should take out rebound shots in penalties, Devin says. I don't know if I agree with that. And this is the thing. It's one of those things, I see Devin bring it up, but it's one of those things whereby it literally took one guy saying it and now a load of people go, oh yeah, that's true. But no one really, who looked at it before and went, that's really broken, before Arsene Wenger started running his mouth about it?
I mean, to be honest,
I just feel as though Arsene Wenger, for whatever you may think of him as a coach, just seems to come out with some just insane stuff sometimes.
About
like,
the rules.
The offside stuff, I think, is actually disappointing to me for him as a coach, that he's not seeing the unintended consequences of that change. Yeah, insane.
I mean, the thing with the rebound penalties is, like, I can kind of see it, but I also think if you do implement it, it'd be allowing rebounds, but not to let the taker get it, because that's what happened in England.
But that's still,
like, again,
the thing
really
with the taker, the taker, by the way, is that the taker can get the rebound, but only if it's saved. If it comes off the post, then obviously it's a double touch at that point. I guess the only argument you'd make is you'd say then in the case of a penalty, a deliberate save doesn't count as a touch for the purposes of it, in the same way that we say a deliberate save doesn't count as a touch for the purposes of resetting offside. I don't know. That's a debate for another day, though. We're coming towards the close of this show, so we should probably have a little bit of a roundup here. I tell you what, we have got an update. Next week, we will not be on our usual Wednesday time because of Phoenix Rising playing on Wednesday against Orange County. We will be on Tuesday night instead at 6 o'clock here in studio. Rees, any final thoughts to the people?
Let's watch 14 games on Saturday to see if Rising makes it to the Jägermeister Cup knockouts.
I'm gonna try and tweet through it, but I don't know if Rees will.
I will.
I might drink while tweeting through it, to be honest.
Yeah. Unfortunately,
I think it's going to be needed. Sorry, Rees.
Yeah.
But meanwhile, you can follow the show at PHNX__Rising. You can follow myself at OJEvans18. Rees, take it away.
Follow me at Rees11_.
Let's take it away behind the Mac.
Follow me at Freckled Mamba.
There we go. Okay. And you can follow Max, but I don't know why you would, because
you could go to
get
some nice
vacation
destinations.
That's true. That's true. So where is the favorite for where Max is?
We'll say he's in Oahu.
Going with Oahu. Okay. Any more guesses on Max Simpson vacation destinations? Are there any in there? I didn't see some of them. Lower tier Europe. I'm going to take that one. Tanzania, says Kevin. I'm not sure if the lower tier Europe was meant to mean where Max is. But you know what? I'll take that. Max visiting Big Ange down under. I can see that as well.
Good shout there, though.
He's at the pub right now buying us all beer. We wish, because Max Simpson, you owe the people beers, right? We will see you next Tuesday. It's going to be at 6 o'clock, the usual time, just on a slightly different day as we talk about the upcoming game against Orange County.
We all silly like the mayor.